Hey guys, it's Andrea. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, this is going to be a bit of a different one. It's myths about disability that we all need to stop believing. Won't be a comprehensive list, so drop it down in the comments below what you guys thought and what other myths are out there that we should stop believing. So guys, the first one is that people's disabilities can be seen. No, they can't. There is a myriad of disabilities, and within the general sections, there is even more classifications. But in Australia, where I am, there's a couple. So the general classifications are physical, intellectual, mental, sensory, neurological, learning, and immunological. And so physical are obviously the blindness spectrum to being completely blind, hard of hearing to being deaf, mobility issues to the point of being a wheelchair user. Also, we see recognised accepted norms within that community. So in Australia, we are actively teaching children about disabilities in school. So children generally do know about white canes and keeping to the left of a sidewalk, of to not pat mobility or assistance dogs unless they are directly instructed to, and that the right and wrong way to ask about someone's disability, and that consent always needs to be given when asking about someone's disability, and you need to respect that person's boundaries as well. We also then see that people with disabilities want to be left alone to live their life. Yes and no. I'm not talking about complete isolation, because unfortunately this myth has led to abuse, neglect, and institutionalisation of people with a disability. People with a disability do want to be able to participate in the community. This leads me into my third myth of that people with a disability can't participate in work. Some can, some can't. And it does depend on their level of disability or impairment towards what work they can do, what work they can safely do. If they have a high level of intellectual disability, a sheltered workshop or a day centre where they can set up a micro business might be the best place for them to be supported and cared for. We also see in Australia, and this is a huge one that I want to address, is that disability equals NDIS acceptance, automatic. There is a list of what they call Class A conditions that automatically you are granted access to the NDIS. I will drop that list down below, guys, and I will pop it over on the blog. Then we do see that people with a disability see disability as a negative thing. No, definitely not true. So disability just is. And post-COVID and post-disasters in Australia, so we've had some fires and floods, we're starting to see that disability just is, and that people are waking up to the fact that disability is something that could happen to anyone at any time. And they're starting to wake up to the other myth, is that it's only a small number of people within our population that live with a disability. This one could not be further from the truth. So it's actually statistically 1 in 5 people who live with a defined form of disability, and it could be higher because of underreporting of disabilities because of the lack of diagnosis. We also that people are still in this area very much are still stuck on medicalised use of language, and this is leading to the re-medicalisation of disability. You might have heard it and seen it tweeted on Twitter about the medicalisation of disability. Let me be very clear. This is not new. What is new about it is people seeking a diagnosis to receive a NDIS care package that allows them to live a life more ordinary. Often people with disabilities relied on piecemeal state systems or on charities or on family and friends, or simply had to struggle on their own despite their own disabilities. The NDIS changed that and leveled the playing field. And so this is where doctors and traditional advocates for people with a disability who didn't have a lot of lived experience themselves do not understand that the medicalisation of disability is not a new thing. It has been happening since we have closed down a lot of our institutions for those who had severe mental health issues or who were severely disabled, and it was better for them to live out their lives in an institution. So since 60s and 70s, we've seen improvements in psychotropic medication. We've seen improvements in the way society treats people with disabilities. But as a society, we still have a very long way to go. In fact, disability in the developed world is still the most persecuted minority. In reality, the most persecuted minority. We are the most likely to be abused and neglected by caregivers. We are the most likely to get knocked back for further education and training because there isn't the accommodations. We are more likely to die young because of lack of access to healthcare, and that might be financial aspect, especially as we're seeing a lot of specialists and doctors refusing to bulk bill because of the rising cost of living. We also are starting to see the rise of micro institutions in the form of CIL houses, form of day centres, and a day centre might be attached to a CIL house or a CIL house attached to a day centre, and so that support all comes from the one organisation. We're also seeing that people thinking that support work is easy. In a way, it is. There isn't a lot of technical skills required, but there is a lot of emotional and technical language required and adherence to policies that you might think are unfair or restrictive. We also see that people do believe that the NDIS is overfunded. When reality it is actually underfunded. People's plans are getting cut. That means their access to education, work, training, social inclusion is getting cut, leading to a further isolation of people with disabilities, leading to a further health burden. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. I know it's a bit topic heavy, but you seem to like these more research videos. So guys, it is completely free. Please like, share and subscribe. If I do remember, on Tuesday, I will be doing another live stream as well. So that'll be Eastern Standard Time. Where I am, we actually don't do daylight savings time around 9:30. Again, there's that disclaimer there, if I do remember. And guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.